Good afternoon, Paul and Bhargav. It's Friday, the 23rd of June. Here's the heads up brief for today. For the Southeast Asia production, we covered 22 issues. In North Asia, we covered 6, and for Australasia and the Pacific Islands, we covered 8. In South Asia, we covered 21 issues, plus the major issues in Europe, Middle East, and Africa.
Okay, excellent, Uday. I'm still down in central New South Wales, absolutely freezing. I'm looking forward to getting back into Asia next week. Go ahead.
Right. In Thailand, the Phua Thai Party and the Move Forward Party will try to resolve the House Speaker issue within the next 10 days. Other parties in the same coalition have expressed concerns that this issue will weaken the coalition and possibly break it ahead of prime ministerial votes.
Well, it's just got Thaksin all over it, trying to cling on to power. This time, power he didn't legitimately win, but he's trying to embed people into the speaker role for his own gains. It's sad to see that he's been having a bigger impact on the situation on Move Forward Party than actually the government. So it's sad. Now let's see how it unfolds. I think I'm coming back into Thailand at the right time. I think we're going to see some interesting couple of weeks ahead. Thank you.
Right. In Indonesia, there's speculation that the Indonesian Democratic Party of Struggle will announce Ganjar Pranowo's running mates tomorrow. They have nominated Ganjar Pranowo as a presidential candidate for the February 14th, 2024 presidential elections.
And who are they looking at announcing, do you think?
Paul, there's questions about that because there's a lot of speculation that Megawati wants to control the party. So
yes,
we're looking at someone from within the party at this point, but it's unclear.
It's going to be interesting to see which way that goes. I think we should do a short assessment post that decision. So during next week, let's try and get an assessment, just update everybody on where the poll's at, which parties have selected or nominated both a president candidate and also a running mate. And look, I'm just talking on one page, please, all day, just to bring everyone up to date. Okay.
Yeah, sure. We'll do that, Paul.
Thanks.
In Myanmar, the United Wa State Army declined Thailand's recent request for the withdrawal of its military bases along the Thai-Myanmar border. The Wa State Army said that these bases play a crucial role in safeguarding the Wa territories within Myanmar, and that the Thai government does not have the authority to exert pressure on Myanmar or the Wa State Army.
Yeah, look, it's interesting because the Thai government reached out to the Myanmar government and the response was from the United Wa State Army. And I think that is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, so that's interesting. So behind the scenes, I think the Myanmar government's way of dealing with that would have been, hey, UWSA, how about you respond directly, save us some face. But interestingly, that the Thai government hasn't worked out the lay of the land there, and clearly and surprisingly and a great concern, you'd think the Thai government understands just how strong the UWSA is, how strong its autonomy is, and how strong that autonomy is given it also has rights for its own defence. So the fact that they were asking a very misplaced question is of grave concern about their intelligence and political mechanisms to go down such a flawed path. Very interesting. Thank you.
Great. In Papua New Guinea, authorities will seek to amend the Criminal Code Act to grant police more powers, including the use of lethal force in some cases. Commissioner David Manning said that police need more power to combat kidnappings, tribal violence, sorcery-related violence, and other unrest. The amendments will seek to establish processes for the use of lethal force, searches and seizures, and detentions.
Look, interestingly, I'm not normally a favour of such things, police having options to use lethal force. Now, obviously, most police forces have it, but in PNG, where there's just such an abundance of violence, it's absolutely critical they have it. However, the Australians, through the Australian Federal Police, military programs from Australia and even private entities like us have repeatedly said that you have to bolster your security forces, you need to train them, you need to professionalise them, but you need to give them the powers not only to protect themselves, but to get these armed gangs under control. And you can't fight that by peaceful negotiations. Obviously, the state of violence in PNG is unruly, and they're not far off being a failed state. But so many times, including efforts from our own company to present use of lethal force and rules of engagement have fallen on deaf ears. I hope that while they have a man in the calibre of Manning, they get this through. Of course, one of the great concerns is if Manning isn't the leader, then will the next guy be able to keep on top of it, or could it be used for untoward activities and become extrajudicial by nature? But whilst Manning's there, it's a move in the right direction. Let's hopefully see if the government can actually play ball for once in their life and not just be banking money for themselves. Thanks.
Great. Moving over to South Asia, in Pakistan, the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan released a statement yesterday, warning Pakistani authorities of retaliation if anything happened to the Lal Masjid in Islamabad or to the masjid's cleric, Maulana Abdul Aziz. The statement from the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan comes after authorities attempted to arrest Aziz outside the masjid in Islamabad a couple of days ago.
The issue of Lal Masjid or Red Mosque is a controversial one in Pakistan. We need to understand that any movement within the Islamist movement in Pakistan will have geopolitical implications in the neighborhood and in Middle East, not to mention South Asia. In 2007, army led by Pervez Musharraf raided the mosque to flush out Islamist terrorists led by the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan leadership, and the Maulanas or the Imams in the mosque were the primary targets. Pakistani military has very complicated relationship with the Islamists and groups such as TTP. They have used them to serve their own interests within Pakistan to gain popular support. They've used them outside as long as the Islamist groups do not threaten their superiority within the political spectrum in Pakistan. But they don't seem to learn having a relationship with Islamist militants, especially supporting them when it suits them, is basically like rearing snakes in their own backyard. You never know when the snake is going to come and bite them back. And this has been highlighted and underlined by the Indian diplomats time and again. But that has, it seems that they don't really learn the lesson. And 2007 was evidence of the same. And the issue is coming back up again because Pakistani military is targeting anybody and everybody in the opposition to make sure that their favorable government is in power. So we'll have to watch this very closely. If they do enter Lal Masjid, there will be an upswing in terror activities across the region.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out on this closely, Bhargav. And in Sri Lanka, police have increased special operations to curb the rise in criminal activities, especially due to rivalries between gangs. Over the last 2 days, 3 people were shot dead in separate incidents, all in Colombo district. And over the last year, there has been a marked rise in criminality across the country.
Yes, this is a matter of concern. We have highlighted this in multiple assessments, what we have done in the last year or so. A marked increase in criminal activity was expected as the economic situation deteriorated. We'll have to keep a close eye on this, Uday.
Yep, will do. In Europe, the European Union called on authorities in Kosovo to suspend police operations in the northern Serbian municipalities and announce snap local elections in an attempt to defuse the tensions at the moment.
That's interesting. Thank you.
And regarding the Russia-Ukrainian conflict, Russia claimed that the Ukrainian military targeted one of the few bridges linking Crimea to Ukraine yesterday. It has been partially damaged. Russian sources said that the bridge was targeted by the newly deployed British and French cruise missiles given the range.
All right. Thank you. Then nothing further from my end.
Yeah, look, that's really interesting that they can actually, and that's quite a sound piece of analysis to extrapolate that the ranges could have only been done by that weaponry. Excellent. Great brief as always. Thanks, Uday.
Thanks.